Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, today I'm heading back to work and I'm on cloud nine. I'm flying high on cloud nine. I'm doing fine on cloud nine. Anyways, I'm actually supposed to be off today. I decided to go in a little earlier. Some people might be like, oh, that's crazy. I would have still been off. I accidentally rescheduled myself to go back to work. And you probably ask, how did you accidentally do that? Well, as being a flight attendant, we make our own schedules when we get seniority. I am pretty high in my seniority and I can work whatever schedule I want. I can get off as many days as I want as long as I work the minimum each month. And the minimum for us is like 37 hours or something like that. I can do that in 1 week. Actually, I can do that in one trip and be done for the whole month. But of course, if you want to make money, the more you work, the more money you make. So, I decided to go back to work a little earlier just so I can get a little extra money. And not just about the money, more for me to just get back in the habit of working. And I was feeling like, oh, I need to get back to work. I don't know why I was feeling like that, but I was feeling like that. Like, oh, I need to get back to work before I go back to work and don't want to be there. So, that's how I end up accidentally putting myself on the schedule, because I was trying to schedule myself for tomorrow instead of today. But I ended up scheduling myself for today. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the dates. I was looking at the actual trip, and I saw that it was a trip going to the Bahamas and coming right back. And I was like, you know what? I can do that trip. Go there in the morning, come back in the evening. But then I realized that that was on the 6th and not the 7th once it got approved. And I was like, okay, well, I got to work that trip or I give it away, and I don't want to give it away, so might as well just go ahead and work it. So that's pretty much how I accidentally scheduled myself. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone who has supported me on my journey of getting married, becoming Mrs. Carroll, and I'm excited about that. And a lot of people reaching out saying congratulations, and I appreciate your congrats. I do. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel great to know that I'm supported in my diviness. So it's awesome. And I just want to say thank you for that. It's one gloomy looking morning. I think it's gonna storm here. It looks like it's gonna storm here. I'm in Houston, so it looks like it's gonna storm here. And it might storm, but I just hope it don't storm bad enough to where I don't get back. One thing about these flights, they will cancel a flight in a heartbeat when there's bad weather. But that doesn't matter to me because I still get paid. Whether they cancel that flight or not, I still get paid. I want to share something with you guys about career opportunities. So, I'm not a recruiter yet. I was thinking about becoming a flight attendant recruiter. They have a lot of openings for new positions for my job, and even administrator. I got my degree in HR, human resource, but I never really wanted to sit in the office, especially after experiencing flying everywhere and meeting so many different people and enjoying life and making my schedule the way I want to. I'm spoiled, so I can't just go and sit in some office from 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. Sometimes Saturdays they work, sometimes Sundays they work, but mostly Monday through Friday. And You get the holidays off and all that, but shoot, what's that when I can get any day off, including holidays? But it's just one of those things. So I know I had a few people come to me and ask me about being a flight attendant and how that works, and do I get scared? No, I don't get scared. Scared of what? What? Why be fearful to fly? That's like the most tragic thing you could ever have happen in your life, is to be afraid to fly, when accidents happen all the time while you're driving, constantly. You know, I probably can say in my entire life I have been in 4 accidents, car accidents. One which I was not driving, 2 and 3 which I was on the bus, the city bus, when I used to ride the city bus before I had a vehicle. And of course my own, 2 was in my own vehicle. I was take that back. 3 was in my own vehicle. 1, I was sitting at the stop sign, someone hit me from behind. Number 2, I was in traffic, sitting on the freeway, someone hit me from behind. And then 3, this guy cut me off. He was in the right lane. He turned left while I was on his left side. So what I'm saying here is, it makes no sense to be afraid to fly. It's just silly. So for those of you who are interested in becoming a flight attendant, and you might say, man, you know what? So maybe I should give that a chance. Maybe I should give it a try. You should. You should give it a chance. You should give it a try. What's the worst that can happen besides you quitting? You can just quit if you don't like it. But you gotta love it, so you won't quit. There are 80-year-old flight attendants, because they love their job so much they don't want to retire, which they should retire. Go ahead and retire so we can get our my seniority to go up. I'm serious, I'm not playing. But you got so much that you can do as being a flight attendant. You can work your schedule once you are no longer on reserve and you get your seniority and you can make your schedule. That's when the beauty of it really just happens for you. You get to work whatever schedule you want. You get to pick your trips where you want to fly to, and you get to have whatever days you want off. The only beautiful thing about that, I would say, as far as days you can get off, and I say beautiful because it's like a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, is when your schedule is set. You make your schedule is set. All of a sudden something comes up and you need to take off. Well, you got options. You could go ahead and not work the flight, call off, which that is like a bad thing to do, because if you call off, depending on the time, you can get points. They only give you like so many points that you can have in the year, and they'll let you go. But so what we do as flight attendants, we don't do that. We sell our trips to another flight attendant who might want to work, and they can make a little extra money on the side. So we do what we call Cash App or Zelle or all other cash things. Cash them whatever price that we give them. Say, hey, I will sell you my trip for $20. That could be food that you can use to eat, or $40. I have seen flights and go up as high as $400 to sell their trip. That I would never do in life. I'm sorry, I'm not that dang on desperate. But or you can drop your trip if there's enough reserve on the grid. You can check that on your own and find out how many availability of, you know, if it's open, you can drop the trip. That's what I do. I drop my trips. I don't do none of that selling. I think I sold my trip one time. Yeah, I think one time I have sold my trip, and that was because I was desperate to get off. I hated. I didn't want to work. And that was right before I went on my vacation for my wedding. I wanted off. I was so excited that I was going to be off for a whole month, so I gave myself an extra week by selling my trip. Just one of those things. And I think I sold it for $40, something like that. I got $40. I cashed out it to him. He took my trip, and that was it, and I was off. But there's so many different ways of getting around, what I'm trying to say. So that's one of the hiccups about being a flight attendant. And then of course you be away from home. But if you decide to make your trip where you only do what we call turns, which is what I'm doing today, I go to work, I fly this one trip going to Bahamas, Nassau Bay. We load back up and come right back to Houston. I'm done for the day. I'm back at home. That's a turn. You do that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But the money is not really there. The money is there depending on how much you're making. But it's not there if you're not making that much. If your seniority haven't gone up enough to make that much. So you literally could be missing out. Because most of the money's in the per diem when you stay overnight, because you are constantly getting paid around the clock until you make it back to your base. So you're looking at your money just constantly stacking until you get back home. And if you have a cancel flight, you get paid for that. If you have what we call a recruit flight, meaning that we delayed somewhere, let's say for instance, and I pray that this doesn't happen. Let's say for instance, if I have more than one flight for the day, another trip to take or whatever, I decide that I want to go to okay, I'm gonna take a trip. I'm going to, let's say I'm going to Nassau Bay, right? And then something happened where we have a delay, and I have another flight when I make it back to Houston that I'm supposed to go, let's say Charleston or something like that. But I don't make it back in time because I'm stuck there in Nassau Bay. Well, what happens is they will recruit it, put another crew on that flight to take my place and all the other, like the pilots and anybody else's place who's supposed to be flying that flight if they don't make it either. But guess what? I still get paid for that. Even though I'm not working it, I still get paid for it because that was my flight. It was my flight to work. It was in my footprints. It belonged to me, and I'm supposed to have it. And it wasn't my fault that I didn't make that flight. It was something happened with the airline, something happened with the weather, something happened with the plane, whatever. But I still get paid. That's the beauty about being a flight attendant. You get paid on a lot of things that you don't even have to work. So if you are looking to become a flight attendant and you're really like, oh, I really want to work or whatever, well, apply. Get online. And you can do regional. That's what I do. I do regional. And I fly for United. But I also am qualified to fly for American too. So I do both. I don't really do both because I don't want to. But if I wanted to, I could say, you know what? I'm going to go to Dallas. I'm going to fly out of Dallas. Well, Dallas is American based. So that means I'll be flying American. Or if I say, you know what? I'm going to go to Phoenix. I'm going to fly to Phoenix. Well, Phoenix is also American based. And then I will fly American. But if I say, you know what, I'm going to go to Washington and, you know, that area, and I'm going to work out of there. With the next United base, I'm still flying United. So that's how I'm qualified for this regional. But if those of you, you know, you get what they call mainline, I chose not to go mainline for a reason. I would be on reserve forever, and I wouldn't be able to make my schedule the way I want because it's so saturated and there's so many of them, and it's just like, what's the point? To me, it's my choice. Everybody got their own choice, preference, whatever. I got a kid at home. I want to be able to be at home with my kid. And that's another thing I want to address before I make this video too long. For those of you who have children, some people, y'all be like, man, I got a kid. I can't just be gone from a kid like that. Well, yeah, fortunately, I have a husband who is there to help me with my kid. But before I had him, I had another husband who didn't want to do nothing for me with him. Didn't want to do nothing for him. Didn't even want him there. So I had to have my dad step in and help me with my son. So that was one of the things that you have to think about. Who's going to watch your kid while you are traveling? Someone you can trust, someone that you know that will love them just as well as you do. get them to school when they need to be at school. But if you got things that you have to do, such as doctor's appointments and teacher meetings or whatever, you can schedule yourself off so you can be there for the doctor's appointment, teacher meetings, and stuff like that. What I do, I give myself a week off every single month. It might seem like extreme, but it's not, because I still get my hours. I make sure I get at least 80 to 90 hours every month, which put me well over the mark that I need to make the money that I need to make, as well as be at home. So I like to be at home. I love being at home. Before I got with my husband, I hated being at home. And of course it was because of who I was married to, and he made life miserable for me, so I didn't want to be at home. But now I love being at home. I love being with my husband. I love being with my new husband, not that old one because we're divorced. But I love being with my new husband, and I love being with my son. I love the atmosphere that we have set for ourselves at home and everything. We got an atmosphere that is like so great. The ambiance is awesome. The energy is flowing. It's beautiful. So I enjoy being at home. So I make myself a schedule where I work like, I get my days in, I get my days off. So for those of you who really want to be a flight attendant, try it out. You never know. You never know how far it can go, how well you can go. You might say, how do I apply? Well, if you want to do regional, and I think that's the best way to get in, the easy way to get in, matter of fact, and you can always upgrade to becoming mainline later, because once you in there, you get all the scoop on when they're hiring, who's hiring, where to apply, how much they're paying. And yes, flight attendants go all the way up to $60 an hour. I know you're probably like, what? Yes. All the way up to $60 an hour. That's how great it is, man. And I think the lowest that they start off with is, what's the lowest? I think $18 an hour or something like that. And that's just getting in the door. I think that's the lowest. I'm not quite sure. But $20 an hour is something, but it's low. It ain't high. But when you start getting that seniority, see me, I get paid. You get paid twice a month, 1st and the 15th. And I get a raise every 6 months. So every 6 months I get a raise. I get a raise on my anniversary when I first started, and then I get a raise on the anniversary of our contract that we negotiated. We're in the process of negotiating another contract and trying to get us another raise to bump our pay up even more. But either way it goes, just like you know, it's a great career. So you get online. I'm gonna promote my own airline, which is Mesa Air. So that's MESA dash. That's the little line that goes like that, not the slash. The line dash air AIR.com. You will get on that website, and then you will look for where it says employment, and then you'll go where it says flight attendant, and then you apply. You can also apply to be a pilot. Now pilots, oh my god, they have promotions, they have bonuses up to $50,000 sign-on bonus. $50,000 to become a pilot. But yes, you have to go to flight school. If you're already in flight school, well, they still train. You still got to go to training. You still got to do all that. You still got to do that. But as far as being a flight attendant, I'm telling you, they teach you everything. And yes, you have to take tests. I had one lady ask me, do I got to take a test? Yes, you have to take a test every single Friday when you are in ground school. You have to pass with 85 or better. If you fail one test, then you got to retake that test, and you got to pass it with a 90 or better. If you fail it again, then you're out. They send you home. So it's very easy. It's not hard. I tell all the new recruits when I go to my recurrent, we do recurrent every year. That means retrain. Do the same thing that you did when you first got started, except for it's a lot easier because you know the stuff. And I tell all the new crews, because they always come up to me asking me about stuff. I said, don't party, even though we did in ground school. I didn't do a lot of partying because I was in regular school too, getting my degree for HR. And I was studying twice. I was doing Mesa, the ground school flight attendant, and I was doing college. So it was something tough. And now people are like, how can you do that? That's crazy. But the roommate that I had at the time, she was doing the same thing, so it made it easy because she wasn't a distraction. She was over there in her side of the room studying. I was on my side of the room studying. And then when I finished my work for college and I would start studying for the ground for flight attendant, what they have for us to be testing on that Friday, and we would study together. So that made it easy. So if you got someone that you roommating with while you're in ground school, that's the only time you're going to roommate while you're in ground school. Once you graduate from ground school and become a flight attendant, you no longer share rooms with nobody. You get your own room. Oh, and that's a whole nother topic. I'll talk about that another time. Not now. That's too much to talk about. But yes, I will give you a little brief on that, and I'm going to get off this video. When you are a flight attendant or even a pilot, your family can fly with you. Yes, the benefits are awesome, but be careful. If you anything like me, I had to learn when not to let my family fly with me. Meaning, like, your spouse, your children, your parents, anyone who's on your flight benefit can fly with you wherever you go. And so, like, for instance, if I'm like right now, I'm going to NASA Bay. If I had an overnight there tonight and I decide that okay, I look at my time, how long I'm going to be there. So if I'm going to be there 20 hours, I'm going to be there, we call it 30 hours. I'll be the day, 2 days, whatever. I can fly my family out there, and they'll stay in the hotel with me, the room with me. And yes, the company pays for the hotel room. We don't pay for the hotel. And they will stay in the room with me, and we'll have all day to do whatever we want to do, go wherever we want to go, and have fun, and then come. But I gotta remember, I gotta be back at the airport at a certain time, on time. And then of course the hotel has a shuttle, take you to the airport, stuff like that. So you ain't gotta worry about transportation. They got that covered too. So that's the beauty, man. This is a lifestyle. It's not even a job. It is a lifestyle. It is awesome. It's great. It's fun. It's adventurous. It just keeps you going. That's why you saw the flight attendant just smiling all the time. Some probably not smiling because passengers get on their nerves, but or they got problems at home or something like that. But most of the time, they're smiling because they're happy. It's raining out here, so holla.